1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. Okay. Welcome back. I'm gonna read more of this horrific shit. In cut-off overalls, Yakov hit the grass on his bare knees. So, I guess it's like shorteralls, whatever. That's kind of weird. And I guess these guys are all like sex slaves or something. I don't fucking know what's going on here. I thought they were farm hands, but it seems a lot more sexual than that. And crouched there, terrified. Shaking, he coughed again violently into the green blades and cringed, almost expecting to be kicked for making excess sound. Look at you. The captain eyed him, his tone lowered but dripped with disgust. You're so sick you couldn't even make it to the barn. He spat. Well, the guy's been running. Is he supposed to be sick or he's just tired because he was running and then he got fucking slapped up? With hunched shoulders and tears along with strands of hair falling down his broad cheeks, Yakov sat up on his heels. I didn't, he answered timidly, just daring to speak. His lowered face was reddish red as the blood rushed in of humiliation and the burning overlapped spots of having been hit. I didn't mean to. Didn't mean to, the captain bellowed again, incredulously. Is he just bellowing all the time? And next time it says bellowed, I don't know if I might change it, because it's like too much. Yakov squeezed his eyes shut and raised his arms a bit again, expecting to have to defend himself, but nothing physical came. Didn't mean to, the captain repeated. Well, you should have thought of that before you ran off fucking every other boy on this land. He threw up his hands. Whores, every last one of you. I'm running a factory of prostitutes here, not a goddamn farm, an orgy house. I only slept with Gessie, the young man protested desperately. Just him, I swear. And now, as much as he tried to hold it back, he began to break and cry. He didn't tell me he was sick. He didn't tell me. I think even he didn't know. Oh, so they're like spreading STDs around, I think. Hey. The captain snapped, frustrated. Quit that whining, you hear? You want me to take you back to your dad? Or should I take you back to the judge? Tell him I changed my mind on you. Those words seemed to be the exact ones that hit Yakov's deepest nerve, and suddenly his trembling intensified, and he fell apart, sobbing. These poor guys. Both rough hands of his clapped over his blonde stubbled mouth, and he cried and coughed and cried, and didn't even try to speak. The captain stood awkwardly and looked up and down the field, empty save for the two of them. He knew that Maury was somewhere near, and he could not afford jealousy between the men. Yet still, the older man reached down, slow and soft, and patted Yakov's sloppy hair. There was some flinching. He expected it. He was always the same. He waited a moment and then tried for the pat again. All right, boy. The captain turned away then and wandered on. He had not nearly yet caught them all. Where are you? The captain kicked open the old wooden door with such force that it hit with a loud crack against the wall behind it. I'm gonna break shit, but I guess he'll just make the farm hands fix it. Dust and splinters and chips of little paint that was left went flying into the humid air. So many times he had repaired that door, sweated over it, cursed over it, and now he didn't care. He could have kicked it clean off the hinges and not even cringed. Where are you? The captain hollered. Oh, now he's hollering instead of bellowing. Good. It's a little change of pace. Daring the sound to echo off the hole-ridden wood planks of the barn's walls. Where are you, runt? You filthy, dirty little shit, you slut. Yeah, he's really gonna want to come running out. There was rustling in the hay, and instantly his narrowed blue eyes were on them, burning, fuming. But the frightened, wide pupils staring back weren't the ones he was looking for. Goldie, the captain barked. Goldie, get over here, you whore. And Isaac, don't think you can hide from me. Not when I got not when I got you caught red-handed. There were 3 in the hay there, and the 2 he had named were cowering back against the wall, going pale and green in the face with dread, and he knew from their expressions alone that they were as unclean as the rest. The 3rd one, baring his teeth for a moment, stepped forward, boldly, out of the shadowed rear of the barn. A tall, pale Spaniard. He was easy to recognize. His shoulders were up and his head down in tension. "You want to come pointing fingers at all of us, Papa?" he growled. Check at me. Look at me, then. I ain't got nothing to hide. I ain't got no kind of disease. See, look." The Spaniard, Sheena, thrust out his hands towards the captain and offered them palms up. "See, look, see," Sheena pressed him rapidly, determined to show that his palms were only their usual pinkish tan. The captain eyed him for a moment, looking at this young man's face and at his hands, back to his face again. So many times in my stories, I have done this fucking, like, look here, look there, look back, look there. Hey, whatever, who cares? Sheena's eyes were pale-colored, but they were rimmed in darkness. Not only raven-black lashes and brows, but a dark hue of olive skin that only appeared there, around the eyes. He looked so sure, so steadfast and unwavering against the captain. Oh my god, did you hear my cat yowling? The captain snatched him furiously by one wrist, jolted Sheena, tried to pull away, and suddenly all that confidence was gone from his thin face. "You think you can throw me over, you little brat?" the older man roared now. I kind of hate that word, roared. What does that mean? I mean, I know it means, like, yelling, but it's like, oh my god, my Snowden thing is getting in the way. I don't know, when people say, like, somebody roared or whatever, it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's just kind of, like, doesn't meet reality or something. It seems cartoony. Where was I? The older man roared, "You want to get smart with me? I'll show you how smart that is." Goldie and Isaac both bolted out from the hay, and before he could control himself, Isaac gave a rough, air-cutting banshee scream into the stagnant barn. The captain's head flung around, trying to catch them, but Goldie darted past him out the door, flying on his legs as if his life depended on it. Isaac ran past the other side of the captain and through an opening in the wooden planks, rocketed out on his hands and stomach. Pretty strong. Let go of me, you, pig, Sheena barked, wriggling wildly to try and free himself, twisting his arm raw against the captain's hands. "Let me go. Be quiet," the captain snapped, enraged. "You're smart, are you? You're clean? We'll see about this, you loud mouth." He snatched Sheena by the other arm, and no amount of twisting or struggle could get Sheena free. His eyes went fearful. He tried to kick out, but the captain was too familiar with it and sidestepped him, and without both feet grounded on the floor, the captain wrenched Sheena hard and brought him banging down into the hay. They're just gonna, like, physically fight with their boss. See, it's like, this is what I mean by it being kinky. Like, I remember this story. They're like prisoners here, basically, or some shit. They're like, and they're all crazy, too, I think. I think that's what it was. It's like, okay, I don't know if the story is gonna say this, but I'm pretty sure what's going on is that, like, this is one of those dealies where it's like, they're all fucking unstable and crazy and bullshit, and they were all gonna get sent to the crazy house or to jail. And then they were like, "Do you want to go crazy house or jail, or do you want to go to this guy's farm?" And they were like, "We want to go to the farm," or some shit. Or he chose them to be on his farm or something. But then once they get there, you know, obviously all this fucking creepy shit happens. They all calling him daddy and papa and shit like that. And he's like whooping their asses every 2 seconds and treating them like animals and shit. And basically they're his prisoners. So I don't know if that's spoilers or not. That's just what I remember. I don't think the story ever got. I hope the story's not too repetitive. I hope it's, because this is an entire notebook. Like, this is how much I read already. This is everything that's left. I hope all these pages right here aren't just like guys running around and screaming and the captain chasing them and calling them whores and slapping the shit out of them. Because if it's like 50 pages of that, that's very repetitive. Alright, let's see. Alright, he threw Sheena down in the hay. Like Isaac had, Sheena screamed violently. The captain had him pinned, one knee on his slim back, holding both wrists to the floor. HR. I'll teach you, you brat, you smart mouth, huh? Clean, are you? He let go of Sheena's wrist, but instead straddled his body backwards, and under the weight of him there was no amount of clawing in the hay that would get Sheena free. He grabbed the young man's belt, oh god, with both hands, and yanked at it with a force that lifted his struggling hips. Let me go, you pig, you freak, let me go, get your hands off me. Spitting, Sheena went on shouting and shrieking. The captain, with two powerful yanks, stripped the sticky blue jeans from Sheena's backside and off his thighs. He grasped him by one ankle, tearing the knots of his laces loose and wrenching off his shoes, first one and then the other. The captain, holding on to the waist of Sheena's pants, stood up quickly off of him. So he just pulled his pants off and that's it? That's the end? In a heartbeat, Sheena was on his hands and screaming, fighting to get away, grabbing the hay in desperate fists, and the captain was tearing at his jeans, ripping the tight fabric from off his legs. No, it's not over, apparently. Is he gonna rape him or something? I don't think he's gonna rape him. What was that? Did somebody just shoot outside? There's somebody that always sets off fireworks. But I think that might have been actual shooting. I don't know. It was over there. That complex over there is crazy. That one right across the way. That place is fucking crazy. There's always some shit going down. Okay, let's get back to this lovely scene. Soon Sheena was naked from the waist down. And in that heartbeat, he was free from the captain. He went to make a bolt for the other side of the barn, though it would be running away from the door. But in this moment, he hardly cared where he went as long as it distanced him from this crazed captain. He was barely on his feet, though. My thing is coming loose again. Okay, where is it? He was barely on his feet, though, before the captain snatched his hips, and with all his feverish momentum whacked back down onto the barn floor on his stomach and hands. And these guys suck at fighting, too. None of, like, I mean, if they all hate the captain so much, couldn't they all just, like, gang up on him? Like, there's, like, a million of them, and there's only one of him. But no. Because it's fucking kinky, that's why. These guys are all a bunch of subs. I can't believe I was writing this shit in 2013. Like, I mean, I kind of remember it, but I don't remember it being so explicit. You know what I mean? I remember writing a lot of things about, like, you know, puppy boys on farms and a bunch of just masturbatory shit like that. But I don't remember it being this fucking brutal. Like, shit. Okay, let me see. Where was it? And I don't, you know, and they scream a lot. I don't know, man. I mean, you can scream now and then if something really surprises you, but these people who are just screaming every other second, it was like, what is this, a slasher movie? You know? Anyways, nitpicking. Let me go, he shrieked. Get off. Clean, huh? What have you got to hide? The captain snarled back at him. He grabbed Sheena by both slender ankles, and Sheena, trying to push himself up off the floor, kicking, went from on his stomach to on his back. How did that happen? I don't know. Just happened. Son of a bitch. Sheena hacked at the captain. Oh, hacked at the captain a ball of spit and foam, which hit in his beard, and Sheena could see. I'm just imagining the captain to be like a fucking, like, Robert E. Lee looking dude. And the captain shake his head, disgusted, but his grip didn't let up at all. And the more Sheena kicked and fought, the more he just became worn out and began to pant and cough for breath, glaring in fury. A voice from outside the barn made Sheena jump. Was he imagining it? But he couldn't be. The captain, still grabbing onto his ankles, paused as well, and just for a moment looked back out into the bright field. Someone was running towards them. "Daddy, Daddy!" It was faint, but Sheena could make out the word and the voice, that young and scratchy, heavy Virginian twang. So he's definitely has a southern accent. Although, I don't know, I've met some people from Virginia that don't have any accent, but Virginia's kind of a big state, right? I think there's, like, probably regions where they have an accent, regions where they don't. I don't know. I've never fucking been there ever. Mister, leave him alone. Let him be. Seeing the captain distracted and realizing he had gone still for a moment himself, Sheena made a new, feverish struggle for freedom. The captain turned to him immediately, and letting go of one ankle gave him a smack on the thigh. "Stop that." He grabbed Sheena's wrists instead and swiftly pulled him up to a forced sitting position. Now he's struggling a little against Sheena's wriggling, spit low muttered curses, and let go one of his wrists to grab his hair instead. Sheena went tense, but in frustration still gave a gruff, hollering cry, and smacked at the captain's side and legs with his free hand. Sheena looked wild to the captain's eyes, his nose wrinkled, his teeth bared, and his face half covered with a tangled obsidian mane. And all over him, his hair and sweat-soaked, ragged t-shirt was the hay. This was the scene which Ashley walked in upon, before his wide eyes had adjusted to the shadows of the barn. He heard Sheena screaming and cursing again. Ashley cowered in the doorway of the barn, only a few steps from the two of them, blanketed in his cold wrapping of his guilt and his sick worry. Where was I? And in that he shivered. He was a small thing, with a thick, compact torso and short limbs. His small hands held the door frame as his knees threatened to let go underneath him. Like, these guys all have weak legs, too. But, you know, they are in this place. The type of... I'm not going to complain anymore about them just being so overly dramatic and always on the verge of fainting or falling to the floor, screaming every 2 seconds and shit like that. Because, look, that's apparently the world we're in, okay? This is a fucking pornographic world right here, man. Like, and these are the kind of guys that, the fucking Captain Robert E. Lee has fucking handpicked, okay, to live with him in this hellhole. Alright, let's see. Somebody's screaming over there. But I think they're just screaming for fun. Okay, Daddy, let him go. Daddy, let him go. His voice got softer then and wavered even more, and he stuttered difficultly, but he was determined for the words to come out. And come they did, falling on the barn floor. It was me. I did it, with a guy in the stalls, in the bar Vanity. You know where it is, downtown? Mister, please, don't hurt Sheena. Don't hurt nobody else. It was me. Through his fear, he managed to push himself a few steps closer. The captain was looking at him from the corners of his eyes, but as Sheena began to struggle more and more, if less vocally than before, the captain wrenched him into a headlock under one large slippery arm. Sheena went to scream again, but the captain expected it too soon, and before he could utter a sound, The captain's big hand was clapped over his mouth. Ashlet, if you're lying to me, the captain growled darkly, glaring fiercely. If you're protecting somebody, then God help you. I am not. Oh, it's 20 minutes again.